All right, today we're going to talk about something that is, let's be honest, a real kick in the gut for any researcher, getting your paper rejected. We're going to break down why it happens, the real reasons, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it.
Yeah, if that thought has ever crossed your mind, you are in very, very good company. It's a question that pretty much every academic asks themselves, from a first-year grad student all the way up to a tenured professor. You pour your heart and soul into this work, and then it just gets sent back.
So check this out. At some of the top journals, this number, 80%, is the desk rejection rate. What does that mean? It means 80% of papers don't even make it to a peer reviewer. They get rejected by the editor right at the front door. And it's not because the research is junk, it's because the volume of papers they get is just staggering.
And this brings us to what is probably the most important thing to get your head around. You have to separate the feedback from the feeling. Getting rejected is not a verdict on your intelligence or your value as a scientist. It's just a normal part of the system. And once you can kind of take that emotional sting out of it, you can start to see it for what it is. Okay, so let's dive into this, because the first barrier your paper hits is a decision that happens way, way faster than you probably imagine. This is where the real gatekeeping begins. So, a desk rejection is basically the editor's first filter. I mean, think about it from their side. They've got this mountain of papers to get through. And finding good reviewers is hard. It's unpaid work for people who are already slammed. So the editors have to make a quick call. Is this paper even worth sending out? And this right here is the part that's kind of mind-blowing. You spend months, maybe years on the actual research. But that editor, on their first look, they might only give your paper 5 minutes. And in those 5 minutes, what are they looking at? Your title, your abstract, and your cover letter. That's it. This tells you exactly where you need to put your energy first.
So if your science is actually solid, what are these editors and reviewers seeing that makes them say no? Well, it often comes down to a few key things that have a lot less to do with your data and a lot more to do with your strategy and how you package it all.
This is probably the #1 reason, the most common mistake of all. You sent a perfectly good paper to the completely wrong journal. It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. You've got to do your homework here. Go to the journal's website, read their aims and scope page, look at the last few issues. Does your paper actually look like it belongs there?
Oof, this one hurts to hear, doesn't it? But it's a thought that pops into a reviewer's head all the time. What it means is, yeah, your methods are sound, your stats are fine, but your paper doesn't really add anything new or exciting to the conversation. It's a tiny, incremental step when that journal is looking for a big leap forward.
And that gets to the absolute heart of the boring problem. So many researchers are fantastic at explaining what they did. They fail, though, at convincing the editor why anyone should care. How does this move the needle in your field? What's the takeaway? If the reviewer finishes your abstract and is left thinking, so what? You're in trouble.
I love this quote because it's so incredibly true. Your presentation matters just as much as your science. If your paper is a mess, full of tangled sentences, typos, sloppy formatting, the reviewer starts to doubt the quality of your thinking. They're just not going to fight through bad writing to try and understand your brilliant idea.
Hey, remember that 5-minute rule we just talked about? This is where it comes back to bite you. The editor only sees the packaging at first. A title that's trying to be cute instead of being clear, an abstract that promises the world but doesn't deliver, or a cover letter that's just an afterthought. These are all giant red flags that can get you rejected on the spot.
Seriously, think of your cover letter as your one chance to talk directly to the editor. It is not just your abstract copied and pasted. No, this is your sales pitch. You have to spell it out for them. Here's our main finding, here's why our study is strong, here's the so what, and, crucially, here is exactly why this paper is a perfect fit for your journal's readers.
Okay, so let's say you do everything right. Your packaging is perfect, and you get past the editor. You're still not in the clear, because the peer review process isn't some cold, objective algorithm. It's run by, humans.
You have to remember the reality of the situation. Peer reviewers don't get paid for this. They are almost always busy academics just like you who are trying to squeeze in a review late at night after a full day of their own teaching, research, and meetings. They can be tired, they can be grumpy, and they are always, always rushed.
And knowing that is so important when you read their feedback. Sometimes a really harsh or dismissive comment might say more about the reviewer's terrible day than it does about a fatal flaw in your work. You have to learn to depersonalize the comments and dig for the actual useful criticism buried in there.
All right, so it happened. That email is sitting in your inbox. It stings. What do you do now? Panicking or getting angry is easy, but having a real plan is what's going to turn this disappointment into actual progress.
Here's a simple 4-step plan. Number 1, just wait. Step away from the computer for 24 hours. Don't do anything while you're mad. 2, go through the comments with a clear head and pull out the helpful advice from the noise. 3, make an actual concrete to-do list of the things you can fix. And finally, number 4, get on it. Revise the paper and send it out to a better-fitting journal as fast as you can.
Honestly, getting this mindset is what separates the people who publish a lot from those who get discouraged and just stop. A rejection isn't a stop sign, it's more like a detour sign. It's a feedback loop that, if you use it right, makes your paper even stronger for its next destination.
And I want to leave you with this last thought. Think about all the researchers who have data just sitting on a hard drive because they're too scared to write it up and send it out. The fact that you submitted your work means you were brave. You put yourself out there. So every rejection is proof that you're actually in the game, and it's an opportunity to get better. So don't give up. Just refine, resubmit, and do it again.